Right, for the next few minutes, I'm just going to focus on factorizing or factoring. Right, so if you look here, we have a quadratic. How we know it's a quadratic is that x squareds. This has 3 terms in it. We have an x squared, we have an x, and we have a 12. Your method to solve it is you look at the number that has no x attached, and you look at the cofactor of what would be your x squared. So in this case, there's no number written in front of my x squared, so you take that as 1. Right? What you do is you imagine multiplying your 1 and your 12 together. So 1 times 12 will give me 12. You then get the factors of 12. So to get 12, I have 1 times 12, I have 2 times 6, I have 3 times 4. Okay, I have 4 times 3. When the factors repeat themselves, you know you've got them all, so you can stop. Okay, your next step is you look at the value that is in front of your x. So in this case, we are looking for a -1. And you look down this list and you see which one of them is equal to -1. So can we do stuff with these numbers, these factors, to get -1? So using 1 and 12, I can't get -1. So that means they're off the list. 2 and 6, I can't get -1. 3 and 4, I can. If I have a +3 and a -4, I can get -1. So when I have guessed the correct factors, I then rewrite the sum not as 3 parts, but as 4 parts, using these 2 values to replace my -x. So I'd write down x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12. So I've replaced the -x by my +3 and my -4. Right? When I have the 4 terms, I take the first 2 terms and I go, what have they got in common? So when I look at these, what they have in common is an x. So I take out the x. So when I take it out, I'm left with an x plus a 3. I rewrite that bracket down again. It has to be that bracket. So I rewrite x plus 3 down again. I then look at the third term. I have x, I need -4x, so what I am missing is -4. And I check it works. So -4 by x gives me -4x. -4 by 3 gives me -12. So when that happens, I'm totally happy. The final step in this sum is I write down the first term and the term outside the second bracket in a new set of bracket, and then I rewrite the bracket we had already. When you have this, you now have the factors. Okay, so if we do another one, look at this. Again, method, you look at the value in front of your x squared and the value on its own with no x's. Okay, multiply them together. So again, the value that would be there is 1. Despite the fact there's nothing written there, it's not 0. So 1 times 12, so like before, we get 12. Get the factors, 2, 6, 3, 4, and 1, 12. Right? You look at the value in the middle. In this case, it's a -8. So how can I use these factors to get -8? So 1 and 12, I can't get. 3 and 4, I can't use. 2 and 6, I can. So if I put a -2 and a -6, I can get -8. So I then rewrite the 3 as a 4-parter. So x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 12, right? Then you look at the first 2 terms. What have they got in common? They have an x in common, so I take that out and I'm left with an x minus 2 as a bracket. Rewrite down my x minus 2. I have x, I need -6x, so what I'm missing is a -6. I check if I'm right. -6 by x gave me -6x. -6 by -2 gave me +12. So it works. So now I write down the final step, which is x minus 6 in a bracket, x minus 2. And your sum is done. Another one. Okay. So again, we have a quadratic, x squareds, x's, and numbers. You look at the term that's on its own. You look at the cofactor that would have been in front of your x squared. Again, in this case, it was a 1. Multiply them out, so you're getting 1 times 4, which gives you 4. Get the factors, so we've got 1, 4, and we've got 2, 2. We need to use the factors to get the middle term, which in this case is positive 3. So to get plus 3, we can go a plus 4, take away 1. Okay, so we rewrite this in the terms, 4 terms. So you go x squared minus x plus 4x minus 4. Look at the first 2 terms and see what they have in common. So again, it's an x. We go x minus 1 when you take it out. Rewrite down your x minus 1. Look at the third term. See what's missing. So in this case, it's a plus 4. And group them. So you go an x plus 4, x minus 1. And again, that's your factors. Another one, so if we look at this one, same idea, quadratic, so you have x squared, x's, and numbers. Same method, you take the term that has no x's and the cofactor that was in front of the x squared. So in this case, we have a number in front of the x squared. So you're multiplying 6 by 5. So 6 times 5 gives you 30. Right? For your factors 30, you've 1 30, you've 2 15s, you have 3 10s, you have 5 6s, 7 doesn't work, and then you have 6 5s. So that's all your options. You are looking for the term in front of the x, so we are looking for minus 7. So when we're looking down that list, top one can't give it to us, next one can't give it to us, 3 and 10 could give you minus 7, 5 and 6 can't, so the only option we have is 3 and 10. So if we go minus 10 plus 3, so minus 10 plus 3 gives you minus 7. If you rewrite it out, so 6x squared plus 3x minus 10x minus 5. Okay, look at the first 2 terms. What have they got in common? So this time they have 3x in common. So if we take out 3x, you're left with 2x plus 1. Write down the 2x plus 1 again. And now in this case, we are looking for minus 10. We have plus 2. So what do we have to multiply plus 2 by to get minus 10? So the answer is minus 5. And you check. Minus 5 by 2 gives you minus 10. Minus 5 by plus 1 gives you minus 5. So it would work. And then again, the final step is group them into 2 brackets. So you go 3x minus 5, 2x plus 1. And that's the factors. Another one. Again, it's a quadratic. 3 terms. X squareds, x's, and plain numbers. You take the number on its own, the number in front of your x squared, multiply them together. So in this case, we've got 10 times 12. So we're getting 120. Factorize it. So you got 10 12s. You've got 6 20s. You've got 5 24s. You've got 2, so you'll have 60 times 2. You'll have 3 40s. You've got 4 30s. You have 5, you have 6. You don't have 7. You don't have 8. Or do you? You do. You have 8s. Okay? 9s you don't have. 10s you have. And so on. So when we look down our list of factors, you are looking to get minus 26. So when we have 10 and 12, it doesn't work. 6 and 20, it could. 5 and 24, it doesn't. 60 and 2, it doesn't. 40 and 3, it doesn't. 30 and 4, it might. Right? 8 and 15, it doesn't. So if we took these two and rewrote it, you go 12x squared minus 6x minus 20x plus 10. Look at the first two, what have they got in common? So they have a 6x in common. Take it out, so you get a 2x minus 1. Write down your 2x minus 1. We have plus 2, we need minus 20. So 2 times minus 10 will give us minus 20. And then check, minus 10 times minus 1 gives you your plus 10. So that one works. So when you rewrite it out, you group it, so you go 6x minus 10 over 2x minus 1. If, however, we had not copied this one and we'd only seen this one, and we'd rewritten it as 12x squared plus 4x minus 30x plus 10. When we go to group them, so you'd see what they have in common, you take out your 4x. You'd be left with a 3x plus 1. You'd rewrite your 3x plus 1. You'd go, I have 3x, I need minus 30, so I need a minus 10. But when you check, you'd go minus 10 times plus 1. So minus 10 times 1 does not give us 10. So that's how we know this one isn't correct. Okay? So the reason I'm telling you or asking you to do this method is it's easy steps to follow. You don't really have to think too much. So if we look at the final one, quadratic, number by number, so you're having 12. Get the factors, 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. We want minus 4, so you're going with this one. So we go minus 6 plus 2. So you rewrite it, x squared plus 2x minus 6x minus 12. Look at the first two, what have they in common? So they have an x, so you go x plus 2. Write down x plus 2. We have an x, we need a minus 6x, so you're missing a minus 6. Check, minus 6 by 2 gives you minus 12. Perfect, so then regroup x minus 6, x plus 2. Okay, so they are how you factorize quadratics. And they are factorizing quadratics that actually work. We'll explain a different day for the other ones.